Welcome, everybody, to our second of 6 in our Detox Health Intensive. This webinar, we're going to be talking about phase 1 of detox and what that means. So daily detox has 3 phases. A normal, healthy body will have 2 phases of active daily detoxification actions. These mainly occur in your liver and they're very enzyme dependent, and I'll talk more about what that means in future webinars. These are followed by the third phase, where the resultant metabolic debris from the detoxification process is then eliminated out of your body. So phase 1, which is what we're talking about today, is the oxidation of harmful substances. It's the very first part the body has to do and go through to neutralize toxins. Phase 2 is the conjugation of the metabolites from phase 1, and the end phase is the elimination phase. I'm taking these phases very slowly. It's a lot of science. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. I do have different kinds of graphics to illustrate what I'm talking about because it is complex. And I encourage you to take your time, stop the video on slides to really look at the pictures and images if that's the way you learn. So the process of detoxification and elimination, it starts with toxins that get into your body, and toxins typically enter through your lungs, like air pollution or even volatile chemicals from paint, for example, through your skin. And one of the biggest issues for your skin is actually your personal care, but there's also, you can get exposed to bacteria through your skin. And then the biggest gateway of toxins getting into your body tends to be in your gut, and especially your small intestine, through the foods that we eat. And almost all of these, in the center of this graphic, you'll see the liver. Almost all of these have to go through the liver at some point. Not all of them, but most of them. And then the liver goes through phase 1, where it starts to clear up and break down these toxins. And if your liver is healthy and functioning and you have all of the right nutrients it needs, as you move to the right, you'll see that your toxins exit. And it's interesting because your toxins exit pretty much exactly through the same organs and organ systems as they entered. So toxins can exit through your skin. It's one reason we sweat when we're hot, we sweat when we're ill. The toxins exit through your kidneys, that's urine, through your colon, that is the rest of your gut, and through your lungs. We do breathe out toxins as well as breathe them in. The problem comes when you have excess toxins, and if you go back to the center of this graphic, you'll see it says excess toxins get stored in. So if fat-soluble toxin off on the far left, you'll see at the bottom it says fat-soluble toxins, which include pesticides, hormones from meats you may eat, milk, dairy products that you may eat, and heavy metals. These are fat-soluble. So they tend to be stored in fat cells, bone marrow, the liver itself, and your central nervous system, in particular your brain. These are all very fatty tissues. And that is why some toxins can affect your brain health, your nervous system, your bone marrow. If you go over to the far right, if you have water-soluble toxins, such as nicotine, other kinds of vapors, and then there's a lot of other chemicals that are water-soluble. If your body can't get rid of them, and we can talk about, and we'll talk about why that happens in future videos, they might get stored in your joints, circulate through your blood, get stored in your tissues or muscles. And so the side effects of toxicity are several, and I'm not going to go through them here because I do go through them in later slides. But you can stop this presentation and read the side effects and signs of toxicity at your own leisure. So phase 1 detox, what we're talking about today, oxidation of toxins. This phase of detoxification does mostly occur in the liver. It is accomplished via a family of specific detox enzymes, which are altogether known as cytochrome P450s. So far, nearly 60 different P450 enzymes have been identified. Enzymes, for those who don't realize it, are very dependent on micronutrients. You cannot produce enzymes without the right amino acids and without the right microminerals. and some essential fatty acids, and some vitamins. So your micronutrient intake can determine how healthy your detoxification system is. So phase 1 detox, this is a little summary. There's 50 to 100 cytochrome P450 enzymes. They've identified 60, they know there's more. These will oxidize, reduce, or hydrolyze toxins. And those three processes break them into smaller and electrical charged substances. This process generates free radicals. So the process of phase 1 detoxification is in itself toxic to your body. Excessive exposure to toxic chemicals increases phase 1 detoxification, causing it to become overactive. So you can, if you are exposed to toxic chemicals more than your body can really handle, and that would happen, let's say you are doing a home renovation and you're exposed to paint fumes that are high VOC, volatile organic chemicals. Or if you work in a paint factory, or you work with chemicals in photographic industry, for example. A daily, or even in the beauty industry, is really common actually, that you have a high exposure to toxic chemicals, which causes phase 1 detoxification to go on all the time. The problem with this is that it generates excessive free radicals, which will overload your body's antioxidant systems and overload your phase 2 system so that you're not actually able to finish detox. And this process where phase 1 is occurring but phase 2 can't occur, it causes chronic inflammation and liver damage. So let's take a look at phase 1 detoxification. Examples of things that are involved would be like alcohol that you drink, environmental toxins you're exposed to, and drugs you may need to take. These all go into your P450 system to break down the toxic components. And the best result is, of course, that you're going to have a neutralized toxin. But always, as a side effect, there's going to be free radicals that are produced. That's just it, always. And your body is prepared for that. It creates antioxidants, in particular glutathione, and your body will clear those free radicals during this process as long as you have enough vital energy and enough micronutrients. And remember, this is occurring on a daily basis. The ability to produce these enzymes actually is genetic. Depending on your genetic heritage, we have different detox abilities. And an example of what that can look like is some allergic reactions are the result of a genetic difference in your detox system. In particular, a reaction to seafood can have a genetic base. And the graphic on the right shows 11 genetic diseases. Lactose intolerance, gluten intolerance, these can be genetically linked for sure. But detoxification is listed on the bottom right-hand side, down by the knee. And I just found it interesting that in this graphic of 11 important genetic diseases, detoxification is one of those. So science understands and acknowledges that we need a healthy detoxification system in order to survive life, basically. So detoxification pathways. And again, as I said before, I'm giving you a lot of different graphics because I think it's really important to present this information in different ways. Different people learn in different channels. So toxins, these could be drugs, insecticides, pesticides, pollutants. The breakdown products from hormones, the breakdown products from neurotransmitters. There are endotoxins. We produce them ourselves. They're not just from our environment. And I'm going to be talking more about that in a little bit. Phase 1, again, this is mainly in your liver. It breaks down fatty toxins in particular. That's the most important part that the liver handles. And there's several different genes involved, as you can see. Phase 2, and it's just here to show you again, if you look down, more and different genes are involved. So there's a lot of different genetic differences that could lead you to have not so great detoxification. And this happens on top of your need for certain micronutrients. So phase 1 is activated by many external toxins. External toxins include air pollution, water pollution, food chemicals is a huge source in modern America for sure. Bacteria, fungus, and viruses, they create toxins and they are themselves toxic to us. Antibiotics and other allopathic medicines are toxic to most people. Excess calories actually create toxins in your body. Tobacco and alcohol are toxic, and stress, which is an internal toxin, along with processed and convenience food, which gets back to your food chemicals. But it is also activated by internal toxins. Most, but not all of these are the result of metabolism, and some of the most deadly of our internal toxins include carbon dioxide, creatinine, uric acid, ammonia, urea, and ketones. All of these in excess will damage our tissues, damage our organs, and can potentially kill us. Non-metabolic internal toxins can be microbial byproducts, like if you have a microbe infection like Epstein-Barr, for example, or herpes virus, retroviruses. These are internal bugs that create internal toxins because of our reaction to them, along with yeast and fungal byproducts. And it's not just the yeast and fungus itself, it's the byproduct that they create that's actually more toxic to us. So phase 1 causes oxidation and free radicals. Phase 1 oxidizes harmful toxins in order to break them down into less harmful metabolite. It's necessary, but it does result in free radicals that can harm us. So these can cause a lot of harm, even to your DNA, if they're not neutralized by antioxidants that we have available for that process. Still more damage can occur if phase 2 metabolites are not quickly eliminated out of the body. So phase 1 detoxification actually creates very volatile toxic byproducts. And your body is meant to handle that every day pretty easily, as long as your body can get into phase 2 of metabolism, phase 2 of detoxification metabolism, so that they can get removed out of your body. If you have a process or you lack the nutrients to have this happen, you're actually just poisoning yourself with your own detoxification processes. So phase 1, bioactivation. This is the process where enzymes act upon a compound, a toxin. When they say compound, they mean toxin, to biotransform it. During this phase, the toxin is only partially biotransformed. Thereby, it creates an intermediate or a metabolite of the original toxic chemical compound, which has been bioactivated to a more chemically reactive and toxic compound. This reactive toxin of phase 1 metabolism, if it's not fully biotransformed, in other words, if it can't get into phase 2 very quickly, it remains in your body, potentially causing damage, especially to the liver where it was formed. And or if it hangs out for any length of time, your body does what it can to protect itself. And what your body does is it stores it in fatty tissue. The problem with this is now it's going to be really hard to get rid of. And it also can be a reason people gain weight when they're toxic. You gain weight, your body will create fat cells to insulate you from your own toxicity. And that process is why when you lose weight, you need to really make sure you drink enough water and eat enough micronutrients so your body can actually handle the toxins you may be releasing along with the fat cells that you're removing. Some dietary nutrients also start phase 1, and this is a great thing because when you start phase 1 because of what you're eating, it initiates the cleansing process, but without the damage of having a toxin there. So since we need to cleanse on every day to remove metabolic and cellular waste, having phase 1 initiated by our foods is a real benefit to the body. So micronutrients that start phase 1, water-soluble vitamins B complex and C, minerals, especially magnesium, iron, and sulfur. Sulfur is a huge one, and other microminerals like selenium. So minerals and vitamins are micronutrients that help the body to start phase 1. In other words, it's like getting a head start on getting rid of some of the toxins in your body in a safer way. Foods that start phase 1 are citrus fruits, all except grapefruit. which actually shuts down phase 1 metabolism. So that's kind of an interesting thing about grapefruit. Cruciferous vegetables, and this is in large part because of the sulfur found in cruciferous veggies: Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, colored kale, greens, cabbages, turnips. Lipotropic food. So lipotropic food is a food that helps you break down fat. Now this is important because we have a lot of fat-soluble toxins. So foods that help break down fat actually are going to help that whole process of phase 1 to phase 2 detoxification. And lipotropic foods include eggs. Again, eggs contain a lot of sulfur, and that's a very important nutrient for detox. Brazil nuts, sesame seeds, and blue-green algae. Miscellaneous foods, typically because of the vitamin C content, like strawberries, but in particular camu camu. It is a fruit from the Amazon, and it is extremely high in vitamin C. You can buy it organic in bulk or in bottles, and it's a phenomenal thing to add to your diet, especially to aid in your daily detoxification process. So support phase 1 detox, increase antioxidants in your diet, especially polyphenols and flavonoids. And these are two families found in particular in fruits and veggies. They help protect against free radical damage that's the byproduct of phase 1 detox. Best sources are all colored fruits and vegetables, and of course, blue-green algae. And then on the right-hand side, I have a list of some of the detoxifying foods. The ones that are also highly antioxidant include green tea, ginger. Apples are good antioxidants. Pineapple is a good source of enzymes, which helps your antioxidants work better. Asparagus and beets contain other nutrients that are beneficial for detoxification, but they're not specifically full of antioxidants like some of the others are. So the next webinar in our series, which is an in-depth series to go into the process of daily detox, is going to be on phase 2 detoxification. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much.